Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. I'm Verna Bharath. This is TTT News. It's time for the headlines. Air Commodore Daryl Daniel takes the reins of the Defense Force. A cathedral for the spiritual shouter Baptist is coming. Colors reign as hundreds celebrate Pagwa. And in sports, Cameron out, a new man in charge of West Indies cricket. Former West Indies cricket team manager Ricky Scarrett is the new president of Cricket West Indies. The St. Kitts business and politician beat the incumbent Jamaican Dave Cameron by 8 votes to 4 at the annual general meeting at the Pegasus in Jamaica this morning. We will have more a bit later. Air Commodore Daryl Daniel has officially been appointed as Chief of Defense Staff of the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force. Air Commodore Daniel received his instrument of appointment on Sunday at a handing over ceremony at the Tetron Barracks in Chaguaramas. Our reporter Janine Brown attended the ceremony this afternoon and gives us this brief update.
Yes, Verna, Chief of Defense Staff Air Commodore Daryl Daniel made history today as he became the first Air Guard officer to be appointed as the Chief of Defense Staff. Now some background information on the new Chief of Defense Staff. Over the last 7 years, Air Commodore Daniel has held the portfolio of Commander Operations, Executive Officer, and he's also served as Acting Commanding Officer in the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard. Now, as you mentioned, Verna, the now former Chief of Defense Staff is Rear Admiral Hayden Pritchard, and one of the important points he made in his outgoing address was he expressed a desire to see his successor continue the work he began, specifically in forming a clear policy to govern the promotion of defense staff. That Rear Admiral Pritchard also addressed issues such as gender imbalance within the Defense Force and the need for the Defense Force to continue its commitment to youth outreach. So, of course, looking forward, it's going to be interesting to see how the new Chief of Defense Staff, Air Commodore Daryl Daniel, tackles these issues. For now, I am Janine Brown, reporting live from the Tetron Barracks here in Chaguaramas for TTT News.
Thank you so much, Janine, for that wonderful update. Very, very informative. A cathedral for the spiritual shouter Baptist community. It's a dream that's seemingly closer to being realized. As Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley says, a parcel of land has been identified for the building of the religious structure. Dr. Rowley was speaking at the People's National Movement Spiritual Shouter Baptist Liberation Day celebrations at the 6th Company Recreation Ground in Maruga. More in this report.
An expression of worship that up until March 30th, 1951 was deemed unlawful practice in Trinidad and Tobago. It's why today the Spiritual Shouter Baptist Liberation Day is celebrated every year on March 30th to celebrate the abolition of the 1917 Shouter Prohibition Ordinance, which prevented the activities of the Shouter or Spiritual Baptist faith. As he honored the community's fight for freedom, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley said the painful history must not be forgotten.
You, the elders, you have a duty to let them understand that this is not just symbolism, it was a matter of life and death, freedom and punishment.
Even as some of the struggles of yesteryear have been overcome, the Baptist community continues to call for a cathedral. On Saturday, Dr. Rowley said his government has identified land to heed the call.
I've worked with the Minister of Lands, and I'm in a position to tell you now that we have identified a parcel of land in the central part of this nation, as central as it could be for you, the Baptists in La Luna and Caranage and Tobago and Sangre Grande. And the government in the very near future will make the appropriate announcement that this parcel of land is available to the Baptist community for the building of your cathedral.
He said that there's a high demand for state lands and government had to be cautious in how it awards land, but he defended the granting of land to religious communities.
As places of worship, education, community services, emergency shelters, soup kitchens, school care, and homework centers. Those are the uses which will cause us to allocate state land for those purposes.
Janine Brown, TTT News.
The Arangwa's savannah came alive this afternoon as Hindus celebrated Pagwa as they prepared to usher in the new year. Our reporter Ian Wason visited Arangwa's and somehow managed not to get a beer on his clothes.
While this reporter managed to stay clear from the abuse sprayed from celebrants, some were not as fortunate while others walked right into the path of the spray. It was all fun, all ages taking part in the celebrations. But Pagwa is not just about the different colors of a beer.
The old Hindu year is coming to an end. In a few days from now, a few weeks from now, we are going to usher in the new Hindu year. So Pagwa is a time where we join together in fun and frolic and festivity with colors and powder to bring this old year to an end.
What about the array of colors sprayed on each other?
Colors in itself mean different things. Red means anger. Blue means love. So I could go on and on with colors. These colors represent coming together of all different people with different attitudes, mindsets put together. I saw you running just now, but this is not actual paint. We don't play with paint. We play with colors that is created from different elements of the society. Okay.
The celebration brought together persons from various backgrounds, joining the Hindu community to ring in the new year.
Pagwa is not just a local thing, it's a national, international thing. All over the world, Pagwa is celebrated. Up the Caribbean islands, everywhere. All over Trinidad, we celebrate Holy Pagwa.
Ian Wason, TTT News.
More to come. Stay with us.
This Sunday, get lost in the world of award-winning films. Green Days by the River, April 21st at 3 p.m. Be viewing TTT to experience the breathtaking film adaptation of Michael Anthony's beloved novel. Voted People's Choice for Best Narrative Feature at the Trinidad and Tobago Film Festival. Recipient of the Carmichael Award for Exceptional Storytelling at the Barbados Independent Film Festival. Green Days by the River proves that locally produced films will captivate you and transport you to other worlds. A tale of love, loss, and intrigue. Green Days by the River premieres April 21st only on TTT.
Surprise, surprise, Ricky Scarrett is the new president of Cricket West Indies after defeating Jamaican Dave Cameron by 8-4 at the organization's annual general meeting and elections at the Jamaica Pegasus on Sunday. Scarrett, who came into the AGM with the express support of the Trinidad and Tobago and Leeward Islands boards, also received the backing of the Jamaica Cricket Association in the build-up to the elections. Barbados, Windward Islands and Guyana had stated their support for Cameron ahead of the elections, with each of the 6 territories commanding 2 votes. A tie was expected in the first round of voting, but somebody switched on the day and Scarrett benefited by an additional 2 votes to go along with the 6 he was assured coming into the vote. Cameron held the position since 2013 and was looking to secure a 4th successive term, especially after being credited with the professionalization of regional cricket, but has been heavily criticized in some quarters for his poor relationship with key players. Scarrett's running mate, Dr. Kishore Shallow, also won the vice presidency post by a similar 8-4 margin over Emmanuel Nanton, the incumbent. A successful return to competitive cricket for the Australian former vice-captain David Warner, but his bubble was burst by the West Indian Andre Russell, who powered Kolkata Knight Riders to a stunning victory against Sunrisers Hyderabad in the IPL. Chasing 182 to win, Kolkata needed a minor miracle in the dying stages to eke out a win. Enter Russell, who belted an unbeaten 49 from just 19 balls as they chased down 53 in the last 3 overs to secure the win with 2 balls to spare. Russell hammered 4 sixes and as many 4s in his show of force as the Knight Riders reached 183 for 4 to win by 6 wickets to get their campaign off to a winning start. Earlier, Warner stole the show as he looked in the pink of form as he hammered 85 with 9 4s and 3 sixes to power the Sunrisers to a solid 181 for 3. But Russell's heroics spoiled the day for them. Several of this country's outstanding junior track and field stars were on show at the Hasely Crawford Stadium, hoping to book their places at this year's annual Carifta Games set for the Truman Bowden Sports Complex in the Cayman Islands from April 20th through to the 22nd. Ruskin Mark has some of the highlights.
We tackled the sprints first, where the girls on the 20th century took center stage, and it was no surprise when Ayla Stanislaus of Phoenix and Akila Lewis surged and battled all the way to the line. In the end, it was Stanislaus who took first place ahead of Lewis of Concord, with both dipping under the Carifta qualifying standard of 11.71 seconds. Her winning time 11.58 seconds, with Lewis clocking 11.65. The boys on the 20A final was also highly anticipated, with Adel Coltrust favoured. And when the gun sounded, he looked comfortable for the first half of the race, but he couldn't hold off the fast-finishing Keon Benjamin of Memphis Pioneers, who clocked 10.54 seconds for the win. Coltrust was second in 10.63, but both just missed the 10.53 Carifta qualifying standard. The girls under 7100 meters was also special, as local star Shaniqua Bascom, the Junior Sportswoman of the Year, found herself in an unfamiliar position, trailing into second to Yolanda Lewis of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, who clocked 11.88 to Bascom's 11.89, which is just outside the automatic qualifying standard. The boys under 17 sprints also saw another automatic qualifier. That's because Devin Augustus, running in the B final, did the business with a stunning 10.78 seconds, shining the brightest in his .14 New Jets outfit. He was the overall winner, as A finals winner Shaquem McKenzie got to the line in 10.92 seconds, just outside the 10.90 qualifying standard. And in the girls under 21 lap event, Rayanne Serville set the pace early and stayed the course. She would go on to win the event in 54.60 seconds to beat US-based Tatiana Martinez into second place in 55.93, but neither reached the 54.54 qualifying standard. Ruskin Mark, TTT Sports.
The people of Diego Martin have a spanking new sports facility to cherish, as the long-awaited Diego Martin Sports Complex was officially opened on Sunday. Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley joined other dignitaries, including some of his cabinet colleagues, in cutting the ribbon to officially open the new stadium. He is hoping the people for whom it is intended find the time to use all that the facility has to offer.
By the road or the river, but as a community of people, especially young people, who would be the ones who would be using this facility most. There's no Diego Martin East, West, Central, no borderline. There's one Diego Martin, and this facility is our pride and joy.
Also present to witness the opening was TTFA President David John Williams, who would have seen a good crowd on hand for the T10 match that followed. The facility also has a fully equipped gymnasium and outdoor nets for cricket practice, in addition to a host of offices and workspaces for lectures and meetings. In the battle between the two top female tennis players in the country, Khalista Mohammed added the Shell Tranquility Women's Singles title to the doubles crown she won the night before. As we hear from Ruskin Mark, the talented Khalista had to dig deep in to overcome her opponent, winning in 3 sets.
In the battle of the top two, it was Khalista Mohammed who started confidently and strode off to a 3-0 lead in the first set. She would go on to take the first set 6-2 for a 1-0 lead. But in the second set, Wokolo stepped it up a gear with her power coming to the fore. She unleashed some stunning ground strokes and return of serve to completely throw Khalista off her game. It was close for a while, but once Wokolo got her power up, the game changed, and all of a sudden we were tied at 1 apiece. She won the second set 6-3 to tie the match at 1 apiece. But in the third, Wokolo wilted as the steady Khalista Mohammed, been there and done that, kept her cool and inched her way to the title. But Wokolo had her moments and made her opponent work hard for everything, especially early in the set. But Khalista was favoured coming in for a reason, and it showed in the big points, and she eventually regained control of the match. Eventually, she would take the third set 6-2 for a 2-1 victory, her 4th women's singles crown at the Tranquility Open. She also won the women's doubles the night before, 2 titles already in the tournament. Ruskin Mark, TTT Sports.
This team announcement will take some topping. A Major League Soccer side in the U.S. was named according to their pizza preferences, but Real Salt Lake failed to deliver on the pitch as they lost 2-1 to Los Angeles FC. The team's pizza choices were not without controversy, with midfielder Sebastian Saucedo, known as Bofo, opting for pineapple. Real's social media team certainly earned their crust with the announcement, and they were not done there, also naming the team by height and by star sign. Sri Lanka Limited Overs captain Lasith Malinga has announced his decision to retire from the game after next year's T20 World Cup in Australia. The 35-year-old fast bowler, who made the announcement following Sri Lanka's 16-run loss against South Africa in the second T20I, also said there was a chance he would quit ODIs after the upcoming World Cup in England this year. Malinga made his Sri Lanka debut in 2004 and has played 30 tests, 218 ODIs and 72 T20Is. He is Sri Lanka's highest wicket taker in T20Is and is also one short of Shahid Afridi's world record of 98 wickets in the format. He is the team's third highest wicket taker in ODIs too, behind Muttiah Muralitharan and Chaminda Vaz. One of his greatest highs was leading Sri Lanka in Dinesh Chandimal's absence to the T20 World Cup title in 2014. More to come. Stay with us.
Every drop counts. Every drop counts. Let's use water conservation to combat high evaporation. Tell them no. Every drop counts. Every drop counts. Your part you must play. Use your water responsibly.
The Met Office has advised that this dry season will be hotter than usual, which means our surface level water reserves will be less due to higher levels of evaporation. WASA is doing its part to manage our water supply, but we need your help. Here are 5 very important tips we can all use to help conserve water. 1. Turn off the tap while brushing your teeth. 2. Fix leaky pipes around the house. 3. Time your gardening. Mornings are better for watering. 4. Wash with full loads instead of 1 or 2 items. 5. Time your showers so you use a little less water. By applying these methods, we can conserve on average 1 million gallons of water per day. I'm sure you know of many other ways to help conserve water at home, so let's do this together.
Every drop counts. Every drop counts.
Remember, every drop counts. A message from the Ministry of Public Utilities.
Informative can be fun. Smile now every morning with Lisa, Rishi, and Carrie as they keep you in the know with what's trending on social media and bring you updates from the worlds of current affairs, sport, technology, and much more. Start your day right and be in the know with what's happening now. Now, shaping tomorrow today. Mondays to Fridays at 6 a.m. on TTT, Talk City 91.1 FM, and streaming live on Facebook at TTT Live Online.
Practice. Your life precious. Road safe.
Taking a look at your weather forecast. Tonight, generally clear and cool despite the odd brief shower. Tomorrow, sunshine would be interrupted by partly cloudy spells with a low chance of brief showers mainly during the morning. In addition, conditions can at times be breezy. The night would be cool with a light breeze and mostly clear despite the odd shower. Seas are moderate with waves up to 2 meters in open waters and below 1 meter in sheltered areas. Dr. Hollis Liverpool, otherwise known as the mighty Chalkdust, says he is honored to be celebrated by Republic Bank, but he says there are many more who are deserving of praise. The 9-time Calypso monarch was speaking before a reception in his honor at the Central Bank Auditorium. Ian Wason has more.
Dr. Hollis Liverpool has been singing Calypso for the past 50 years and has won the most Calypso monarch titles. He passed Mighty Sparrow in 2017 when he sang Learn Arithmetic to win his 9th crown. On Saturday, he was honored by Sunshine Awards in collaboration with Republic Bank, for which he is very proud.
When you see a bank turning into culture and looking at culture to understand that if the bank is not in the society, it helps to make the country more stable. So I'm very happy that a bank will see it fit to honor me. Normally you get cultural organizations honoring you. So when a bank honors me, I feel very good.
He said, though, while he is happy and grateful for the award, there are other Calypsonians just as deserving.
There are so many persons here knocking on the doors. Valentina, for example, Bomber, all those guys are there with us. We lost composer. But there are so many of the guys who are there, Gypsy, or them have been knocking the board since in the 70s. Hard to choose one, because so many of them are deserving of the honor for having contributed so much to the culture of the country.
Dr. Winston Dukaran paid tribute to the decorated Calypsonian who missed the Calypso Monarch final this year. Dr. Dukaran said the Calypsonian had politicians trembling.
His dedication to social commentary was unfailing, and the injustices he saw around still had to be addressed. And this drove him in his song to say, I must get seen, and I will shoot right and left and put on my guns again.
There was also a musical tribute to the one called Chalky by several Calypsonians, including Sugarlos, who sang his 1993 winning song, Misconceptions. Ian Wason, TTT News.
Chalkdust says he wants Calypso in schools. He's ready to do his part by publishing a book that would help in the instruction in the classroom.
For example, I want to publish a book on using Calypso in schools. And I mean, that is going to cost me about $200,000 because printing here is so expensive. So I would love to start doing it. Have a page showing the Calypso, a page showing the music of the Calypso, a page showing where the Calypso came from and its history, and then a page showing how to apply that in our schools.
More to come. Stay with us.
To Sunday, get lost in the world of award-winning films. Green Days by the River, April 21st at 3 p.m. Be viewing TTT to experience the breathtaking film adaptation of Michael Anthony's beloved novel, voted People's Choice for Best Narrative Feature at the Trinidad and Tobago Film Festival, recipient of the Carmichael Award for Exceptional Storytelling at the Barbados Independent Film Festival. Green Days by the River proves that locally produced films will captivate you and transport you to other worlds. A tale of love, loss, and intrigue. Green Days by the River premieres April 21st only on TTT. There's no time like now and no show like ours. Start your day with a smile and view TTT every morning at 6 a.m. as Lisa, Rishi, and Carrie keep you in the know with what's trending on social media, the island vibe, and bring you the latest from the worlds of sport, technology, current affairs, and much more. Who says informative can be fun? Now, shaping tomorrow today, weekdays at 6 a.m. on TTT, Talk City 91.1 FM, and streaming live on Facebook at TTT Live Online.
Don't forget, twice a day. Don't miss a day.
The police are seeking assistance to identify the body of a woman who was found with chop and stab wounds about her body. The body was found around 10 a.m. on Saturday in a ravine at Exchange Lots in Couva. The victim was clad in a black shorts and black vest with a pair of tan-colored slippers on her feet, with an apparent rose tattoo to the right side of her stomach. Anyone with information that could lead to her identity is asked to contact the Region 3 Homicide Bureau at 652-0495 or 652-1429. Port of Spain Division officers of the Interagency Task Force have found and seized one black and chrome Smith & Wesson revolver loaded with 6 rounds, 357 ammunition. The find was made while officers were conducting foot patrol just after midnight last night at Lovell Place, Laventille. One of the officers carried out a search in a bushy area where he found and seized the firearm from under a sheet of galvanized. Another officer found and seized a black plastic bag with 60 grams of marijuana from under an abandoned step located along the roadway. No one was arrested. Investigations are ongoing. Minister of Education Anthony Garcia says UTT in its restructuring process will cut more than 200 jobs. However, Minister Garcia confirms there is no ongoing investigation into the qualifications of any UTT employee. He was speaking in the Parliament on Friday.
A listing of 244 persons has been identified by the Board of UTT for retrenchment, consequent upon the university's restructuring exercise. That list is now being discussed with a recognized majority union.
Also speaking in the Parliament on Friday, Minister of National Security Stuart Young says a new forensic science centre is coming. He says the Cabinet agreed in January to construct a new forensic science centre in Mount Hope at a cost of $10 million.
After extensive discussions with the People's Republic of China, they agreed to assist via a grant with the design, construction and outfitting of a forensic science centre and a DNA centre. The designs are currently being worked on by the Chinese along with the Ministry of National Security, and we're working on proceeding with this project, which it is hoped will be completed by third quarter 2020.
He revealed that a new pathologist has begun work at the present Science Centre, adding that there are no backlogs. He says 3 more pathologists have been requested and 1 more who recently graduated has expressed interest to the government. Recapping tonight's headlines. Air Commodore Daryl Daniel takes the reins of the Defence Force. A cathedral for the spiritual Shouter Baptist is coming. Colours reign as hundreds celebrate Pagwa. And in sport, Cameron out, a new man in charge of West Indies cricket. And that's how we end our TTT News Report. On behalf of all of us here, I'm Verna. Bharath. Have a good night.
TTT News. Connect.